Hello and welcome to the respected judges of SEDAR and to all viewers. I, Vaishnavi Sundarajan from Paramatriculation College, would like to share a summary on the report we have done on teacher sharing session entitled Let's Name and Draw Hydrocarbons with ICE-CoSt. To begin with, ICE-CoSt is actually an innovative teaching tool used to learn drawing and naming of hydrocarbons. Hydrocarbons can be actually drawn in three ways, but however, one way of drawing hydrocarbons includes the skeletal drawing, which only shows the backbone of hydrocarbons. Thus, our team came up with an idea of utilizing the drag and drop facility in smart interfaces to build hydrocarbon backbone. Students here are required to arrange bars in the shape of ice cream sticks to make the desired structure, and along with this, the naming of hydrocarbons is also tested. Why did we choose TSS as our collaborative tool? The collaborative tool chosen is deemed to be the most appropriate as it involves the sharing of experience and knowledge between both experienced teachers, that is, lecturers who have teaching experience more than 8 years, as well as novice lecturers who have teaching experience less than 8 years, aiming to solve the same issue, which is to deal with students' inability to learn drawing and naming hydrocarbons. Next, what did we find from observation, discussion, and evaluation on students? We found that students face difficulty in naming and drawing structures of hydrocarbons, especially when it's in the skeletal form, because it actually required higher order thinking skills. As you can see in the first picture here, students tend to ask their friends and they don't display much confidence in drawing and naming these hydrocarbons. We feel that one of the key factors for this issue is the inability of the student themselves to picture the structures which are abstract. And together with this, we tested students with pop quizzes and short tests, and it became clear that the current approach whereby we are utilizing chalk and talk method along with graphic organizers only allows some students to understand the content while others are still very much unable to do the question. With that came in the objective of our teacher sharing session, which was to share knowledge and teaching experience among a group of lecturers on how traditional teaching and naming of hydrocarbons can be shifted to a digital learning. Second, we also want to identify the most satisfactory strategy to teach the identification of hydrocarbons, as well as to develop continuous professionalism among the group of lecturers. ICE-CoSt was an output of 2 TSS cycle, which includes the management method of plan, do, check, and act. So in the first cycle, the planning stage includes choosing the intervention, collaborative tool, and the strategy. So here, the strategy chosen was to share the best pedagogical practice, and the collaborative tool was the teacher sharing session. Next, at the do stage, the chosen intervention was applied. Instead of sticking to chalk and talk method, we decided to go on video learning, courseware learning, as well as do game-based learning with the students to teach them how to name and draw hydrocarbons. Next would be the check stage, whereby post-intervention reflections and evaluation was done. The collaborative discussion done was based on the talk, tell, share method, and we had a questionnaire distributed to students and we had evaluated it as well. So from here, we realized that it was pretty obvious that students enjoyed game-based learning. However, they also showed much interest on video learning as well as courseware learning. As you can see from the table here, students declared that they wish they had more opportunities learning using video and courseware. With that, at the end of the first cycle, we had a pillow talk on discussing the pros and cons of each method that we have implemented and came up with a suggestion that a mobile application to support learning of naming and drawing hydrocarbons would be very apt. This is supported by the questionnaire results. As you can see here, the game-based learning topped the chart. However, students also said that video learning and courseware learning was also helping them to name and draw hydrocarbons. Next, during our second cycle, in order to develop an app, we required the inclusion of an IT expert. Thus, during the planning stage, we actually did content creation whereby we drafted a basic template and database to develop the app that incorporates drag and draw mechanism for drawing and naming of hydrocarbons. During the doing stage, a prototype was launched. Trial run was done to evaluate two things, which was functionality and usability among lecturers with various teaching experience. Next, here is an interface of the ICE-CoSt app which requires students to use the drag and drop mechanism to build the backbone of the hydrocarbons given to them. During the checking stage, feedbacks from lecturers were evaluated. We evaluated on how the app functions, its ability to help students in understanding, naming and drawing hydrocarbons. We also checked on the feasibility, the accessibility and the interactivity of the app. Finally, during the acting stage, improvisations were done mainly on content, appearance and applicability. Our teacher sharing session was done for a period of 10 weeks, excluding the times of NCO. Here, as you can see, we had 7 formal meetings, which brought us to the development of ICE-CoSt. During each meet, we made sure that we were using approaches highlighted under teacher sharing session, namely pillow talk, tell, share, and brainstorming. Finally, where are we heading to? What more can be done with ICE-CoSt? Currently, we are at the improvisation stage, and this might lead us to the third cycle of our TSS, whereby we are looking forward to add color codes which would differentiate the main backbone and branches present in a hydrocarbon. We are also looking forward to develop ICE-CoSt into a gaming app whereby it not only becomes more interactive, but students can learn naming and drawing hydrocarbons constructively from the beginner stage to an intermediate stage and finally to an advanced stage. Next would be expanding the content whereby ICE-CoSt can be used to learn naming and drawing of other organic compounds like alcohols and haloalkanes. And finally, we would be doing a major background facelift. With that, conclusively and proudly, I would say that we have successfully developed a prototype named ICE-CoSt that comprises the benefits found via video-based learning, courseware learning, and game-based learning to help students name and draw hydrocarbons. This actually had answered our first objective. Next, ICE-CoSt showed that teaching and learning the naming and drawing of hydrocarbons can be taught in a more interactive and interesting manner, and this is in line with our second objective. Finally, the ICE-CoSt application also provided a new learning tool that can be utilized by students not only at the matriculation level, but also at any pre-U level and or even at schools to enhance their understanding in learning hydrocarbons. With that, that's all from me today. Thank you from the Colors team.